You are back with comedian Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So it is the week of juvenile fucking ADHD down here. 4 fucking kids that I know of have recently been diagnosed with ADHD, which is fine, but they've also been medicated with Ritalin for this apparent ADHD. Like, I picked up my son from school yesterday, and in the car he's like, "What's ADHD?" And I'm like, "It's a attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Do you know what any of those fucking words mean?" And he's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Why? Why are you asking about that?" He's like, "Well, this guy," I know the kid, "this guy in my class, he actually has 3 mums." So, are you shocked about the diagnosis and the fucking medication? 3 mums. Don't even ask me. Don't even fucking ask. It's just that school. Anyway, he's like, "Yeah, this kid said he has ADHD." And my son was like, "What is it?" And now that's hard for me to answer, because I have to tiptoe around the fact that I almost certainly believe it's parent neglect rather than ADHD. But I also have to mention that I do believe there are like outliers with ADHD, like way out there outliers. But I do think mostly ADHD is just wild kids trying to fit into a modern world that doesn't suit them. That's basically it. Like, I'm telling you right now, with the amount of energy my fucking son has, if we didn't load him up with everything we load him up with, he'd be fucking bouncing off the walls. He'd just be tearing them to shreds, but we keep him fucking busy all the time because he's just got endless energy. Like, before we went to India, one of the days he had school, and then he had after school care, and then I'd pick him up, I'd take him to jiu-jitsu, and when I picked him up from after school care, he's like just in the burning sun, just playing soccer, just sprinting around. So I'd pick him up from that, take him straight to jiu-jitsu. He'd do jiu-jitsu and then wrestling at the end. And then I'd burn him straight from jiu-jitsu to soccer. And then once soccer was done, we'd be pulling into my driveway and he'd be like, "Oh, can I go over to my friend's place and play?" And he would go straight over there and play for another 2 hours, non-stop. And then by the time he got home, he still wants to do something with us. And it's like, if you take a little bit of that away, you've got a surplus of energy that needs to be expended. And what do you do with it? So if instead of doing all those things with my son, we took away all of it and just put him in front of an iPad, and then every now and then when we wanted him to do something, take the iPad off him and get him to concentrate on something, and he goes absolutely ballistic. Whose fault is that? Is that ADHD? Is it? So anyway, I'm telling my son, virtually I'm telling him that. I'm like, it's misdiagnosed a lot. I'm like, "Does your friend have trouble concentrating in class?" He's like, "Oh yeah, he doesn't concentrate at all." I'm like, "Well, it's not exactly the environment to be concentrating, isn't it? It's a little bit hard to concentrate in a room with fucking 25 8 to 9-year-olds just bouncing off the walls, all egging each other on. It's not a real silent concentrate environment, is it?" And he's just looking at me smiling. And I'm like, so kids get thrown into that environment, and if they don't adapt to it, then they start looking for reasons why the kid is sick. But is it the kid that's sick, or is it the environment he's in that's sick? And then he's like, "Do I have ADHD?" I'm like, "No. You don't. You are sometimes extremely retarded, but there's no ADHD." So it's just been, I didn't want it to be juvenile ADHD week. I just wanted it to be Boyle chills out for a few days a week. But fucking my wife came home today, another kid on Ritalin. I know the kid as well. There's fucking nothing wrong with the kid. The parents are burnt out. They can't control the kids. They haven't got time for it, so they try and distract them with all sorts of shit. Then that doesn't work. Then they throw the iPad at them, and what do you think's gonna happen? And then you give them meth. What do you think that's gonna do later on down the track? I've had meth. I know what it does. It's not good. And the parents will say, we tried absolutely everything. Yeah, you tried everything. Maybe there's a handful of parents that did try everything, but what's your definition of everything? We told him to behave? Is that what you did? You took him out for a run and ran him into the ground until all his energy's gone? Did you do that? Did you play at the park until midnight until he just collapsed of exhaustion? Did you try and find something he might be interested in that he can focus that attention on? Or did you exacerbate the problem by just yelling and screaming and victimizing him until there was nothing you or he could do except go to the doctor and make the doctor make you feel better? Basically, that's what ADHD is. It's for the parents. It's to tell the parents you're not doing anything wrong. Here, we're going to medicate your kid because you're perfect. You're doing everything correct. It's just this kid. Something's wrong with the kid. Not you. Not you, you fucking useless cunt. This isn't all. I'm not blanket statementing fucking ADHD kids. I've seen some fucking wild fuckers out there. And they need a lot more than fucking Ritalin. They need that Hannibal Lecter mask and a straitjacket. Ritalin's not going to stop some of the wildcats I knew. I'm not sure if people even remember, but my generation and the generations prior, you got kicked out of the house and you spent 14 hours outside, going mental, riding, smashing shit, playing sports, fighting, arguing. You were outside. You were out of the view of your parents because you were outside. If the parents saw half the shit you did outside, you would have got diagnosed with ADHD as well. But you weren't. You were outside, fucking processing it. It's just excess energy. That's all it is. Use it up. It's infuriating when I hear these young kids getting fucking drugged up, medicated so young. I've got a mate who his parents chucked him on fucking Ritalin from the ages of 8 to 16 or 17, and he's it fucked me. He's I've got OCD now from the fucking Ritalin. He's I can't concentrate. I have to be drugged half the time now just to get by. He's I hate being on it, but I was on it for so long that I just can't operate now. And I'm you poor cunt. And that's not even his fault. And I know the cunt as well. Yeah, he's a little bit fucking out there, but you process that shit as you get older. Yeah, there's going to be a few wild years in there where things look out of control. But if he makes it through, he's going to be fine. Maybe. Anyway, it fucking drives me nuts. I hate it so fucking much. Just fucking put some effort in, cunts. Anyway, fucking that'll do it for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see ya the fuck later.